This review has been made possible by Chevrolet of Naperville. As you know, Chevy has tons of brand new cars and trucks available for purchase, but did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to ChevroletofNaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2021 Chevy Camaro 2SS. Up front is a 6.2 liter V8 and down below is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now I'm excited to be driving this here Camaro for two reasons. First of all, it's never a bad day when you're driving a Camaro SS. The SS means that it gets the big V8, the 6.2 liter. It's naturally aspirated, but it makes good power, and we'll talk about it in a second. But the second reason is the fact that this is a 2SS. So what does that 2 in front of the SS mean? We know the SS means that it has the V8, but the 2 is actually the more luxury package that you can find on the SS edition. So there's the 1SS and 2SS. This has the nicer features, which I'll outline now. And keep in mind, these are just the features that it has on top of the 1SS package. This is just the advantages of the 2SS. This has aluminum interior trim, Bose audio system, dual zone climate, forward collision alert, heads-up display, which is optional for the 1SS, but standard here on the 2SS, illuminated sill panels, interior spectrum lighting, lane change alert with blind zone alert, memory settings, rear camera mirror, cross traffic alert, rear park assist, leather seat trim, ventilated driver and passenger seat, wireless charging, and heated mirrors. So that's everything the 2SS has above the 1SS. This car also has Brembos from the factory, which is great, part of the SS package, but that's found on the 1SS as well as the 2SS. So I'm excited to share all those features with you guys today. Let's get back to that 6.2 liter V8. I'll put the horsepower and torque up on the screen because that is what you care about. It makes very, very solid power. For a naturally aspirated V8, something that's not going to absolutely rip your snout off like the ZL1, I can't complain about it too much. We are warmed up here out on the test track. Traction might be a slight issue here today because it is like 30 some degrees, but, oh wait, we gotta do windows down. Of course, how could I forget? Oh man, it is so fun. You get the torquiness. When you put it into sport mode, it gets a little bit louder. We'll hit the back straightaway here. Once we straighten out, go for it. I mean, you don't really need much more speed than that. Yes, the ZL1 makes more power and is faster, but the only real difference between this and the ZL1 is how big you want your ticket to be. That's the only deciding factor. So it's quick enough. This is fast enough. Don't worry about that. I do want to talk about the fuel economy here for a quick second. 16 city, but 26 highway. In a big throaty V8, how do they get 26 highway? That's very, very good. Well, this has cylinder deactivation. So when you're cruising on the highway, it can actually go down to a 4-cylinder, actually technically a V4, and it only uses fuel and spark for 4 cylinders just to keep the thing going. When you put your foot back into it, of course, all 8 cylinders liven back up. But for just cruising, you don't really need that many cylinders just to maintain. And that's how they get 26 miles to the gallon on the highway. Like I said, paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, like you're probably typing out in the comment section right now, I wish it was a manual. Yes, I too wish it was a manual, and manuals are offered on the 2SS Camaro. However, that being said, I really pleasantly enjoy the 10-speed automatic. I think it shifts really well. It's not obnoxious. I haven't really hit a downshift or anything like that that felt weird. It feels solid. And if you're going to go with an automatic transmission, this is a pretty solid one. Again, just for everyone online, yes, I would prefer a manual. However, given the circumstances, I'm very happy with this transmission. Last but not least, of course, the Camaro is rear-wheel drive. But before we get on with the rest of the video, I want to say thank you to the people who made this video possible. First up, cashforcars.com wants to buy your car. They will buy your car with a clean title, salvage title, running, non-running, whatever it may be. You can get your free quote by clicking the link in the description below. Cashforcars.com is the easiest way to sell your car. Within a couple of clicks, they'll come pick up your car in less than 24 hours. You don't even have to leave the couch, and it's absolutely awesome. Next up, we have con plates. The con plate is a suction cup mount for your license plate when you don't want to mount it to the front of your car. If you have to legally have a front license plate like you do here in Illinois, but you don't want to stick it on the front of your car, you think it's ugly, you want to take it off for car shows, whatever it may be, you can actually just put your license plate into the suction cup holder and put it in your front windshield when driving around to remain legal. You can get your con plate in the description below, and every sale helps out the channel, so make sure your car looks good with con plates. Last but not least, I want to talk about the fixed OBD2 sensor. Now, this is a Bluetooth sensor that you plug into your OBD2 port on your car, and it gives you a ton of cool information like your check engine lights, how to fix your check engine lights, approximately how much it should cost, maintenance intervals like oil change, tire rotation, brake pads, when you should change that stuff out. This is absolutely fantastic for anyone into cars or anyone looking to get into mechanics. Fixed is offering my viewers a discount through that link, so go check it out, and again, help support the channel. But with all of that out of the way, let's get on with the review. So let's talk about the interior. We have a couple interesting features in here that I really like. Well, in front of me, I have two physical gauges and a screen. On the left is my tachometer, on the right is my speedometer, and then, like I said, I have that screen there in the center. I can cycle through a bunch of different options and screens. That's what I'm showing here on camera right now. Let me try to fill time while you look at all of these options here on the Camaro center screen. I like this. GM has always been very good about giving the drivers of their vehicles tons of information. This goes back to the 2001 Corvette, even had great information in the center display, and I like that that carries on throughout. I like knowing what my car is doing, and GM has always given me that option. I hope I've vamped enough. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my heated steering wheel and cruise control options, as well as my favorite buttons for the radio. Then on the right, I have my selectors for that center screen and the gauges we just talked about, voice commands and phone options, volume, and then I have paddle shifters around the back. I love the feeling of the steering wheel. Perforated leather, feels good in my hands. I get a nice grip, and I like that SS badge down at the bottom. To the left of me, I just have a giant air vent as well as controls for my heads-up display. That's right, the 2SS gets standard a heads-up display up above the gauges, which is displaying my speed, but I can also switch it to speed plus radio station, speed plus direction, or a tachometer with speed and a G meter, which is fantastic. It makes me feel like a video game. I love this feature. Absolutely awesome. Love. On the door, power locks, my memory seats, power windows, power mirrors. I do get two different memory seats for the SS, which is great. And then we'll move into the center. The center has the pretty standard Chevy touchscreen display. However, I love it. It's an 8-inch display. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Apple CarPlay is also wireless in the Camaro, which is great. You can set up wireless Apple CarPlay. Fantastic. Log on to the My Chevy app. But one fun thing I can control through here is the ambient lighting. So the ambient lighting here in the Camaro, I don't really have any good footage of it because I have this car only during the day, but look at how many options you have here for ambient lighting. This is fantastic. The lighting is in the doors and in the footwells. It's nothing too crazy, but another cool feature of it is that I can link it to drive mode. So when we put it into sport, the lights turn red, and when I put it into track, they turn yellow. When they're just in touring, they're blue, and if we go down to snow and ice, they turn white. This is really cool. Imagine just cruising on the highway in touring mode and someone pulls up next to you and you hit it into sport mode and the lights turn red in your car. That is really cool. That is super fun. But getting back to the center screen, I do have my climate control on and off. I can actually select that through here. I do have physical climate controls we'll talk about later, which I love. Go through settings. I can get a Wi-Fi hotspot if I want. I can get some apps. Overall, not too much in the center screen. I like the frames per second. It's very clear, it's very intuitive, very easy to use, and of course, Apple CarPlay just makes life so much more simple. I do have a backup camera in the center display as well. I have some decent backup lines. They're okay, but they do adjust when I turn the steering wheel, which is what I look for with backup lines. But speaking of the backup camera, let's talk about the rear view mirror because it gets GM's new camera option. There's a camera on the back of the Camaro, and it just gives a live feed to the rear view mirror. Now, I've driven this actually on GM trucks before. The GMC 2500 that I recently drove had this same feature, and I have fallen in love with it. It has very high frame rate. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you're used to it, it looks amazing. It makes what's looking behind you look like a cinematic movie. And I absolutely love that, to the point where I was behind a Chevy product the other day, driving my regular Mazda, and I saw my own car in the video feed of their rear view mirror, and I was like watching myself, and it looked like my car was in a movie. It's so cool. I love this feature, and this is standard on the 2SS, but this is worth the upgrade, 100%. This is worth going up to the 2SS just for this feature, because looking out the back of a Camaro, Camaros don't have great visibility as it is, but this camera makes life so simple, so easy. I love this rear camera. But getting back to the center stack, we do have air conditioning and climate controls. Couple things to note here. First of all, I have the heated and cooled seats. Part of the 2SS package is the ventilated seats. Pretty standard climate controls, except for hotter and colder is actually done by twisting the vent itself. Now, Chevy's been doing this for a couple of years now, I believe since 2018, if I recall, and I absolutely love it. It declutters the center. I don't need 4 knobs to do 2 things. It's just the vents themselves are the knobs, and I think this is incredibly smart. Getting onto the center console, I do have my shifter. It says Camaro up at the top, a little bit of leather stitching on it. I like it. It clunks into place. It feels good. I've always liked GM shifters. When you put them into gear, it has that nice satisfying clunk, and that's what I look for, and I love it. Down below that, I do have my traction control on and off, and then my mode button. So this car has 4 different drive modes. Touring, which is more of a comfortable everyday driver. Sport mode livens up the shift points for the automatic transmission, makes the exhaust a little bit louder, gives you a little bit better throttle response. And then track turns all of the traction control off. And then, of course, snow and ice ups those traction controls, so you have a little bit better of a fighting chance. Now, I will play 2 exhaust clips, one of the vehicle in touring and one in the sport mode, so you can hear the difference in exhaust note. Down below the mode selector button, I do have my power parking brake, and then to the right of that, I have a 12-volt outlet. At the very bottom, I do have 2 cup holders, which have no chance of holding the big friggin' bottle. So, of course, it's an immediate fail, but I've yet to find a vehicle like this that would actually pass. Now we gotta talk about the seats. I love the SS badges on the seats. They are leather, they are perforated leather. They have nice stitching on them. Like I said, they're heated, ventilated, power, memory. I mean, what more can you really want from a seat in a sports car? You can't really want much more. However, we do have back seats, so reluctantly, we'll do a back seat review. Right, so there's no way I can actually fit back here because the seats are actually touching the front seats. But I do have a wireless charging pad right here, and that's it. If you like the people you're trying to drive with, don't put them in the back seat. They will not fit, and you will be looked at as a very mean friend.
Camaro trunk. This is what the trunk of the Camaro looks like. Camaro trunk. This is what the trunk of the Camaro looks like.
Now we gotta talk about the looks. This Camaro is finished in wild cherry tint coat, and I like it. GM has always had pretty fun, pretty good flaky colors, and I like it a lot, and I love all the accents. I think this really is a truly good-looking Camaro. It's not the flashiest thing in the world, it's not obnoxious like the ZL1, but it's interesting enough, and I like it a lot. And so, now with all of that being said, now I have to give my final thoughts on the 2SS Camaro from 2021. Ooh, boy, oh boy, I love it. I mean, I can't really think of much that I don't like. I think the power level is fantastic for my applications. Exhibit A. I mean, do you really need more convincing than that? I don't think so, but I'll try. I love the technology in here. I think the 2SS package is really something you should seek out. If you plan on daily driving your Camaro, if it's something you're gonna keep for a while, you're gonna take on road trips, you're gonna use a lot, get the 2SS package. The technology in here is fantastic. I have the ventilated seats, I have the heads-up display, I have the rear camera. All of it is absolutely fantastic. Some of you might say that the automatic transmission is a negative, but I really don't view it as one. And so let's finally factor in the price. Everyone asks about the price. This car is listed for $52,000. $52,000, which is a lot of money. I don't want to shove that under the table. This is a lot of money for a Camaro, but let's think of some of its competition. More recently, I drove the Toyota Supra, both the 3-liter and the 2-liter. The 2-liter isn't even a comparison to this. The 3-liter, the turbo straight 6 Supra, is around this price range. While I think the Supra handles a little bit better, this is a lot more comfortable. This is a car I would want to live with day in and day out. This is something I would drive to the doctor's office and not kick myself for buying. It's very, very comfortable, very spacious, very well equipped. And, I mean, look at the horsepower numbers compared to the 3-liter Supra. Not that far off. Better than that. I mean, if you love a throaty V8, this is a great car for you. It's really hard for me to say any downsides of this car. I would say the visibility, but the rear mirror camera fixes that. Sometimes I would say the build quality, but in here it actually feels very, very solid. It's actually kind of frustrating how I can't find anything too wrong with this, besides the back seats, but like, you don't buy a Camaro for the back seats. I don't know, man. It's hard as a reviewer because I want to be honest, and I'm being honest. And my honest answer is I can't find really anything wrong with this car. I hope they sell a lot of these because there's always rumors that the Camaro is going to go away again. And this is a good car. Such a good car. Oh man. One more time, just for the homies, with the window up maybe. What more do you want? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Chevy of Naperville for letting me take out their brand new 2021 Chevy Camaro SS. This thing is beautiful. It's great. I love it. They have tons of cars on the lot, new and used. They have a couple of these Camaros in stock if you are looking for one. If you're not looking for one, of course, they have the new Trailblazer and Equinox and Silverados, Colorados, all of those sorts of things. Chevy of Naperville is absolutely awesome. We've been working together for about 2 years now, and I've never had a bad experience with them. Really, really thorough people. Very, very nice staff. They're absolutely awesome. The guy I normally work with was actually gone today, and someone else helped me just like normal, which is great. And I can't say enough good things. So their information is up on the screen, as well as linked in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.